What if you were given a promise so grand, yet the circumstances around you were so dire? Would you still believe? Today we delve into the heart of Exodus chapter 6, a tale of struggle, faith, and divine promise. Here we find Moses, a man caught between the plight of his people, the Israelites, and the might of Pharaoh's Egypt. They were a people in chains, their spirits crushed under the weight of their bondage. But amidst this despair, God speaks. He speaks to Moses, renewing his promise, a vow of deliverance, a vow that he would free the Israelites from their shackles and lead them to a land flowing with milk and honey. It was a promise so grand, a beacon of hope in a sea of despair, yet the circumstances were dire. Can you imagine the sheer weight of responsibility Moses must have felt? Yet he was reminded of a promise of deliverance. Ever felt doubt creeping in, even when you know you must hold on to faith? Imagine the plight of the Israelites. They've just been told of a renewed promise, a promise of freedom from their harsh conditions. Yet their daily reality makes it challenging to accept this promise. They're weary, burdened by the weight of their suffering. A promise of liberation seems like a distant dream, an illusion. Doubt begins to cloud their hearts, casting a shadow on their faith. But here's where our story takes a turn. We move on to a conversation between Moses and God. Moses, the chosen leader, the beacon of hope for his people, is also wrestling with doubt. Imagine the pressure he carries, the responsibility of leading his people out of bondage. It's a colossal task, and Moses is human after all. His faith wavers, his resolve shakes. Then comes the divine reassurance, the celestial voice that echoes in the silence. God speaks to Moses, his words carrying the warmth of a comforting embrace. He reassures Moses, instills in him the courage to face the daunting task ahead. God commands him to speak to Pharaoh, to stand up against the oppressor. Moses, though initially hesitant, listens. He listens not just with his ears, but with his heart. He listens to the voice of faith, the voice that drowns out the whispers of doubt. This scene paints a vivid picture of the struggle between doubt and faith. It's a struggle we all face at different points in our lives. We may not be leading a nation to freedom, but we all have our personal battles, our individual pharaohs to confront. And in these moments, it's easy to let doubt take over. It's easy to forget the promises, to lose sight of the faith that's been our guiding light. But let's take a leaf out of Moses' book. Let's remember that even in the face of adversity, even when the odds seem stacked against us, faith can shine through. It's not about never doubting, it's about not letting doubt win. In the face of adversity, faith can waver. But remember, even Moses had his moments of doubt. Have you ever wondered why you? Out of all people, why were you chosen? As we delve into this scene, we find ourselves pondering these questions alongside Moses and Aaron. These two men, plucked from the ordinary and thrust into the extraordinary, were chosen by God as his messengers. Moses and Aaron, brothers by blood, were born into a world filled with hardship and sorrow. Yet within their ordinary lives, God saw something special, a potential for greatness, a spark of the divine. He saw two men who, despite their humble beginnings, could carry out an extraordinary mission. These men were not born into greatness, they were not kings or warriors, but rather shepherds tending their flocks under the vast desert sky. Yet they were chosen to rise above their circumstances, to carry a message of freedom and hope to their people. Ordinary people, extraordinary mission. Moses and Aaron were just like us, chosen for a purpose beyond their understanding. What would you do if you were tasked with a mission that seemed impossible? Imagine, if you will, standing in the shoes of Moses and Aaron. The task that lays ahead of them is not just a mere errand, but a mission of biblical proportions. They are to confront the Pharaoh, the absolute ruler of the most powerful empire of their time. Picture the magnitude of this mission, ponder over the gravity of their responsibility. Yet it's not just about a confrontation, it's about convincing Pharaoh to let their people go, to deliver the Israelites from the shackles of slavery. It's about the expectation of a miracle, a deliverance that seems almost unimaginable. Yet, armed with nothing more than their faith and the divine mandate, they march forward. They are prepared to face the insurmountable odds, the towering walls of resistance. An impossible mission, a determined faith. Moses and Aaron were ready to face the Pharaoh, to set their people free.